Hello babies, I hope that you're all doing well. As you know, I do polls on my Instagram asking what kind of content you guys want to see. The winner for this video is my stalker / crazy ex. Basically, I'm gonna jump right into the story because I get really angry when I talk about it. So I gotta get through it fast and then I gotta go punch something. I think it was the beginning of senior year. I'd been dating this boy for around a year maybe, and I just, like with all my high school boyfriends, I had 3 in total. I'm sure that's very surprising to some of you who like to spread rumors about me in high school, but no, it was 3, and all of them I kind of always lost interest around 6 months, and if I continued it was because I was, you know, being manipulated into staying, or, you know, the classic, I'll kill myself if you leave me. But anyway, I had finally built up the courage to break up with this boy because I just was not happy. We fought all the time and I just wasn't very attracted to him anymore. Like the 6 months period had passed. It was like a year now, so I was extra over it. And I broke up with him in my car and I felt that it was good timing because he was like about to go to therapy. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this now and then you can talk about it with your therapist. All for therapy. I don't think he's crazy because he went to therapy. I've been to therapy so many times, but I felt that it would be good for him to talk to someone about it because I know it's never easy during a breakup, so I tried to be really conscientious about it and polite, and I said I'm so sorry, and then he went on his way and I thought everything was fine. I was like super over it now. Like the minute I broke up I felt so good, I felt so free. It feels good when you leave a relationship you know you are not supposed to be in. So I felt really amazing, I was really happy. I spent a lot of my time in high school kind of between boyfriends and would never really see my friends. So I saw this as an opportunity to be with my really good friends that I had known since elementary school and middle school. And I had missed them so much, it just felt really good to reconnect, and I knew that I had made the right decision. So like 2 days after, he starts texting me being like, hey, I want some closure on this. Like I want to talk about this. I want to kind of figure out what went wrong. And fine, if you need closure on something, I totally get that. For him, it must have really been out of the blue. Never really articulated anything. And I kept my thoughts very private, so I wasn't surprised that it was very confusing for him. He comes to my house and we're sitting on my front steps and he was like, I don't get it, like I don't know why we broke up, and I was like, I know, and it was my fault for never articulating to you that I felt a certain way, and this wasn't your fault, this was my fault. And he was like, no, but we were so good together. And I was like, but we weren't really. We fought literally every other week. We got into like screaming matches. It just did not seem like a good relationship, and it hadn't been for a while. And he's like, no, you're wrong. Like, this is just your fault. And I was like, okay. Whatever makes you feel better. And he was like, I need help getting over this. And I was like, that's so fine. Like, have you been talking to your therapist? Maybe like you should reach out to your old friends that hate me and shunned you because they don't like me. Maybe you should go talk to them. He was like, no. So he was making it really hard for him to move on by kind of refusing to talk to anyone, which I get, like everyone grieves in different ways, so I'm not gonna sit here and bash his process. But when it got scary and threatening, that wasn't it. Like a week goes by and he starts texting me paragraphs. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is working for me to have you texting me all the time. I need some space. We just broke up. I think it'll be better for both of us if you cease contact with me. And that was my like train of thought at the time. Like, I cannot help you get over me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Because he was just wanting to speak to me all the time, asking me like all these questions, and if it wasn't working for him, then it definitely wasn't working for me, because I was starting to feel really pushed into a corner. I just didn't, you know, it just wasn't working. So I blocked his number, and you know, we went to the same school, so obviously if I blocked his number there was still a chance that I would see him during school, and that idea was starting to scare me a little bit. I was very aware of the fact that he had a temper, and because he was very angry that I had blocked him, he texted all my other friends, he tried to message me on Facebook Messenger, and it was all like really just hateful stuff. I got really frustrated that he was talking to all my friends, so I unblocked him. I said, hey, like I understand that you're going through stuff right now, but could you please leave me and my friends alone? It makes me very uncomfortable that you are talking to them and being very pushy. Could you please stop? He texted me, you can't block me out, you can't get rid of me, you can't this, you can't that. And obviously that is very concerning, or it was to me, and I said, listen, I need you to back off. This isn't cool. you can't do this. I'm just gonna end up blocking you again if you keep doing this. And he said, well, if you block me again, I'm gonna come to your house. So that's very scary to me. My house is my safe space, and I did not like the idea that someone was using that space against me as a threat. After he sends me the like, I'm gonna come to your house text, I was at school. I was with my two friends. We were all at the Starbucks next door for a free period, and he had just sent me that. And I showed my friend, and she was like, oh my god, this boy sounds like he's gonna kill himself. Like, this is some crazy shit. So the way that the Starbucks was built is that there's two doors here, and then the sitting area is like, I don't know how to describe it, but basically we were sitting facing these two doors, one towards the school, one away from the school. I'm like on my phone and I'm looking through the text and I'm like, this is crazy, this is crazy. And suddenly she stops talking. She's like, Sophia, Sophia. I'm like, what? I look up and he's standing like at the door looking at us. So I didn't like post where I was. I didn't tell anyone where I was. This was my free period that I don't even think he had free. It was very creepy that he found where I was. Even though that Starbucks is kind of like a normal place for people to hang out, it was just weird. Maybe it was coincidence, but I found it very weird because it seemed like he had kind of tracked me down. Oh my god. Props to my friends. They're troopers. Like, shout out to Adriana and Christine, because y'all kept me sane through that. I think I would have lost my mind if you guys weren't sitting there. But he comes over and he's like, can I talk to you outside? And he's kind of doing this yell whisper thing where he's like, come outside, come outside. And I'm like, no. Kind of laughing a little bit because I was really scared and I didn't know like what to say. It was just so awkward. I was like, no, I don't feel safe going outside with you by myself. And he was like, fine, then bring Christine. And Christine's like, oh my god, poor Christine. This is crazy. And I said, no, I'm not gonna bring Christine with me. No, I'm not gonna do that. He's like, come outside. I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable going outside by myself with you. I'm not going to, no. And he was like, fine. And he stormed off. And me, Adriana, and Christine are just like, what the just happened? I was so uncomfortable. I see him leave out the door, but on the side of the Starbucks that we were sitting on, there was a big window facing the street, and I thought he walked back to the school, not towards the street, but there's no other window to really look into. So we all start laughing, and then I get a text, and he goes, you're really sitting there laughing at me right now? Obviously after that I was terrified. I'm a very anxious person, so I really thought that someone was watching me all the time. And the fact that he had threatened to come to my house really made me uneasy because I felt that I wasn't even safe in my own home. So there were some days that I would like open the door, I'd see like a little bouquet of flowers like on my steps, which is hella creepy. So we have a gravel driveway and I'd hear like the crunching of gravel around my room and I'd get really anxious. I'm like still in disbelief that this happened. He was a crazy dude and I knew that from jump, but the way that it escalated, I really didn't expect it. I still was just very angry that someone that I had let into my life threatened me in a way that kind of removed the safety of my home. I was really bitter, and I'm still really bitter because, you know, I've been through a lot and my home is really my only safe space, and I didn't even have that anymore. So we were all applying to colleges and it was my plan to use the screenshots of what he texted me, threatening other people, and send them to admissions officers. Or like, you know, something having to do with colleges and showing them evidence that would prove my point that he was a dangerous individual. It's really close to going to the police and getting a restraining order and showing the text that he was gonna come to my house and, you know, all that stuff. But even though I wanted so badly to do something back to someone that had taken advantage of my security, I didn't. I heard that at the time he was struggling a lot with family and he had to like move and there was a lot of drama happening, and I felt really bad kind of adding more on top of that. I thought that I would just let it go because, you know, I wouldn't want that to happen to me if I was struggling a lot with my life at home and then someone made it harder for me to get into a college or served me with a restraining order. You know, it's up. And I don't think I can ever forgive that person, because I think when people know a lot about you and then use that information against you so they know that they have you cornered, it's really messed up. And yeah, trust issues. But, you know, life goes on, and it definitely taught me to value myself more and not be with someone that shows signs of being a nutcase. And I moved on from that, and I'm so happy, and I feel so safe with the people that I have in my circle. So if you are going through a relationship where you do not feel safe, where the other person is threatening you or making you feel uncomfortable in any way, you do have the power to walk away. And it may seem scary, and you know, it may seem impossible, but reach out to people, reach out to your community, reach out to friends that, you know, you may not have connected with in a while, and obviously I'm here for you. But yeah, that was a story. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want to hear more story times, just go to my Instagram and vote on the polls that I make for my weekly YouTube videos. And I'm sending you all muchos besos, and I hope that you have an amazing day.